Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline and I'm here with my surgeon, Dr. Beck, and this is a part 2 of the Q&A series we're doing together where he's going to answer all of the questions you guys have about skin removal.
Thank you, Jacqueline, for having me. I'm Dr. Joel Beck. I'm a plastic surgeon for 15 years. And I think the goal of these series is to help educate you in a very real way from somebody who's really gone through it and from somebody who, quite honestly, had to prepare and really think about the way that I was going to operate, the type of procedures and designing them. So there's a lot that goes on both of from both of our viewpoints. Mm-hmm. So I hope that you get a lot out of it.
So I know I share with you guys all the time about my skin removal surgeries and my journey with that, but I wanted to bring a professional in to kind of get his answers and opinions on going through something like this as well. So if you haven't watched part 1 of the video, I'll link it down below, and otherwise we're just going to get started with this part 2. So the first question is, what would you tell someone who is concerned about the scars they will have?
I think that what's most important is that you focus on the end result of your surgery and what you're going to look like after you've had the multiple procedures. Unfortunately, at this point, there's not a whole lot we can do with the scars except keep our fingers crossed that the patient heals well. And Jacqueline's an amazing healer, so her scars look fantastic. But you will have multiple scars, and that's kind of the trade-off to be able to get to that point where you feel comfortable in all the clothes that you want to wear and going out. So, you know, that's the big thing about scars. There's all kinds of different ways that scars can look either really good or not so good, but I would have you discuss that with the surgeon who you choose.
Right. And I think for me, I was never really concerned with scarring. I've always told him, do what's best, do what you need to, cut where you need to, because at the end of the day, those are just more like your battle wounds, is what I say. It's, you know, a reminder of everything you've been through and how strong you are now at this point of your life to go through the weight loss, the surgeries, and all that. So for me, it's just a reminder of all the hard work I've done to get to this point. So I definitely wouldn't be worried about the scars that much. I know I've even been called Frankenstein. People said I must look like Frankenstein with all my scars, but I'll take it. I'm happy, I'm healthy, mentally I feel better, physically I feel better, so yeah. I would take the scars. So the next one is, what tips would you give someone considering surgery but is very nervous or scared about having surgery?
I think the tips I give people is, first off, that it's for me to be real with patients and to not try to hide that this is something small, that this is an actual big endeavor that you're going to embark upon. It's very normal to feel nervous and anxious about surgery, but you know, having that relationship with your surgeon, feeling like you are not, that the surgeon's not holding anything back from you, and that you understand that there's going to be a lot of recovery and everything, and that can either be a nervous or anxiety-provoking thought, or it can be a very exciting thought, and we're trying to focus on all of the exciting things that you're going to have with your new shape and body. Mm-hmm. So,
and I know too, what helped me is I told myself, this is gonna suck, it's really gonna hurt, but I have to focus on the end result, like you said. So I think going into it knowing it's really going to hurt, I think helped me, instead of just saying, oh, it's going to be fine, it's not going to hurt that bad, I'll be fine. Like, I told myself every day, like, it's really going to hurt. Like, this is going to be the worst pain you've ever been in, but it's going to be so worth it, and it's not going to last forever. So.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How bad was the pain? And there's multiple operations that Jacqueline's undergone, so, you know, how much of a part of your journey were you worried about pain versus just being able to get back out there working out and feeling great again?
I think definitely in the moment it's a lot worse than I kind of thought it would be. But again, it just goes back to knowing that this is the best decision for me and my overall health, happiness, well-being. And so in the moment, you just have to really remind yourself, like, this pain is not going to last forever. And it may be really hard right now, and it might be hard not to work out or be stuck at home or not really moving as much, but it's not going to be forever. And the results and how I'll be able to live the rest of my life are going to be so worth it that I had it removed, that this little bit, like 6 weeks of pain, is worth it in the end for me. So it was very painful.
And as you can see from Jacqueline's Instagrams, is that she's out there now working out all the time, working out just as hard as she did before she even had any of these surgeries.
Right.
And this is after having multiple operations.
Right.
So this is coming from a real person undergoing real procedures, and she's still so motivated, and that's what I love about her.
And I think, too, what really helps is that I've gone through some of the procedures, like looking down, or like not even having to like lift the skin up on your stomach to like wash things, or actually being able to see like muscle definition in your arm now. I think it's focusing on that more so. And then you're excited to go back to the gym because you can actually strengthen your muscles now, where before it was so heavy to carry the skin, it was hard to do a lot of the workouts. But now that it's gone, you're ready to get back in and do new things and feel new muscle groups and like see your abs. And so the pain is definitely worth it. It's, you know, it's worth it for that little bit of time, for a lifetime of having the skin removed, in my opinion.
Yeah, and really, as I mentioned, the activities of daily living, of just being able to get up out of bed and to put on your clothes and put on your bra or put on your underwear, you know, you have a lot less burden on your body, which over time is going to be something that's really nice.
Right.
And hopefully each of you can appreciate what we just mentioned.
Right. So I know a lot of people, myself included, were worried about the drainage tubes. So if you can talk a little bit about what that is, what it's like, why they're needed. Or...
So these are called drains, and drains are used to remove fluid that your body naturally produces after surgery. And, you know, there's different types of tubes out there. And we've been using a tube that I think works real well. It works great as far as removing that excess fluid. And these drains are placed underneath the skin that is then closed. And your body produces this fluid. And it gets rid of that, so that way all the skin can then stick back down to the anatomy below. Otherwise, you have fluid collections, which could be a potential complication. So we need drains. The drains don't have to hurt removing them, depending on the type of drain. So, you know, each time we've done this, except for the liposuction case, we use drains. And I mean, how much was it an impact on you, or how much inconvenience was it?
They definitely didn't hurt coming out at all. Like, I didn't even feel it when you took it out.
Yeah, and a lot of people worry about removing
them,
so that's a good thing to hear.
Yeah, like I didn't even feel it. Like I was like nervous, then all of a sudden he was done, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know you started. So that was interesting. I think with the drains, it's more mentally challenging because you see it kind of in your body as something, or you shower, you kind of have to hold them or be mindful of it. So they don't hurt, but I think mentally it's just something weird to have to see in your body or have.
And to note, these drains, they're silastic tubing. They get sutured down to the skin, and then they come out, and then it's connected to a little bulb, and you squeeze the bulb to get all the air out, and you cap it, and the bulb wants to open, and when it does that, there's a negative force, or like a vacuum, and that assists the fluid to come out, so that way you can heal appropriately. So seeing that on a daily basis, I can see would be kind of hard, but you've dealt with it really well.
I think it just goes back to reminding yourself that it's only there to help you and to help you heal and recover. And again, they're not going to be in that long. Like mine were in a few days, I think.
Probably up to a couple weeks.
Probably, yeah. I think it was more like that. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine were in for a couple weeks, but you only know that they're going to help you, and it's just going to help you heal. I was lucky because Kevin drained them for me, but that part kind of grossed me out. What is it? What comes out? Just fluid?
It's a mixture of serous fluid, which is some of the fluid that your body produces, just clear fluid, and it's mixed with some blood at first. And as you keep them in longer and longer, the drainage amount gets less and less and less, and that's how we know when we can take them out. Mm-hmm. And the color changes to kind of a more like clearish yellow fluid.
Right.
So there's less blood associated with it.
Yeah. Just something you have to remember that might suck for a little bit, but it's not going to be like that forever, and they'll come out and you'll be fine. So the last question is, after you have a skin removal procedure done, if you gain weight after, how does that affect your results?
Well, ideally, it would be nice for you not to gain weight, and I think that's part of the challenge as a massive weight loss patient, is to have this this challenge of trying to not regain the weight that you work so hard at losing. But on the other hand, when you are post-op, you can't just go and work out, and that's something that you have to kind of think about as well, because you may want to go work out immediately, but that's really not a possibility early on. So the challenge of trying to not gain the weight is there, and then over time you actually would be expected to lose weight considering how much skin we remove. But if you do gain weight, I think that it would take good communication with your surgeon to figure out why that happened and what can we do to try to reverse that before we step into the next phase or the next operation, because again, then you can't operate, or you can't go work out again immediately. So that's the challenge of massive weight loss surgery, skin removal, is that there's just so many operations involved usually, that you go through these periods where you're going to be working out and then you can't work out, and you can work out again, and so your body goes through a lot. That's why this is like a multiple year experience, not something that you do in just 3 months.
So that was the last question of the part 2 of this Q&A. So I hope you guys found this information helpful. Please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you watch part 1 if you haven't already. I'll have it linked below, like I said, and be on the lookout for a part 3. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and again, give this a thumbs up, and especially if you want to see more videos with Dr. Beck.
Yes.
And thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah, thank you
again.
too.
And be on the lookout for part 3. Thank you for all of your love and support, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.